I'm calling it right now. 2025 is going to be one of the greatest years for SaaS. And I'm not just talking about traditional AI SaaS companies. I'm also talking about AI agents. I'm talking about B2B services companies that are really turning into AI software companies on the back end. I'm talking about disrupting entire jobs and replacing it with true AI. So here's the big question. What are the biggest opportunities in SaaS as we go into 2025? How do you actually capitalize on this incredible wave that's coming? And also, what can we learn from the past? Because history doesn't repeat, but it does rhyme, that will allow us to take the most advantage in this new wave. In this episode, I'm going to walk you through the 3 biggest SaaS ideas for 2025. It is my sincere hope that you are inspired by these ideas and you pursue one of them and build an incredible software company, or even better, you're inspired by one of these ideas and you come up with your own idea that you pursue. Ultimately, my goal for you is to apply these principles and these ideas and build an incredible software company that creates wealth for you, but also creates incredible impact in this world. Intro. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Unstoppable. I'm TK, and on this channel, I help SaaS founders like you grow your SaaS businesses faster with an unstoppable strategy. Now, if you're new to this channel, welcome. I drop an episode every single Sunday with actionable strategies and tactics from the trenches on how to grow your SaaS business faster. So if you're new to this channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell icon. That way you'll get notified every single time I drop an episode with the TK energy. Now, if you're already part of this community, if you're part of this SaaS go-to-market coaching program that I run, if you're a customer of one of my SaaS companies, my people, welcome back. It's really awesome to see you over here. Now, I remember when I first started in SaaS, it was 2005. Ajax was a new thing, Web 2.0 was a thing, and we were starting to build these incredible pieces of software that ran in the browser. Now, this is totally standard today, but back then, it looked like a toy. No one actually thought that the desktop software would get disrupted. No one actually thought that the web apps that exist today would be fast enough, slick enough, and effective enough to replace the desktop software everyone used to use back then. But fast forward to today, SaaS is default. Everyone uses web-based software. Even the software running on your phones ultimately follows a model that's similar to web-based software. So everything changed. It looked like a toy at first. It looked like, oh my God, I don't know, this is kind of wonky. And then it became a real thing. Fast forward to today, that same pattern is happening again. AI is going to be even bigger than Ajax or Web 2.0, or just switching from desktop and server environments to the cloud. It's going to be even bigger because it completely reinvents how computing works. And anytime this shift happens, it's really once in a generation shift. And if we're lucky, we get 2 of these. When these happen, there's incredible opportunities that come together. So in this episode, based on everything that I know in nearly 20 years of being in the SaaS industry, in building, scaling, and exiting my own SaaS company, in helping over 300 founders start and scale their SaaS companies, I'm going to walk you through my 3 biggest ideas for SaaS in 2025. And for each of these ideas, I have already done a very in-depth episode on exactly how to apply and implement any one of these 3 ideas. So I'll link to those as well. If you're excited to dig in, go ahead and smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. And let's dig into idea number 1 for 2025 in SaaS. Idea number 1 is AI SaaS companies disrupting every traditional SaaS company. Now, this one sounds obvious, but there's a nuance to this. This happened in the client server to cloud transformation. It happened in the desktop to Web 2.0 transformation. And it's going to happen again from traditional SaaS to AI SaaS. Here's the trick though. Here's how you can figure out how to disrupt any traditional SaaS company that exists today. The traditional model for SaaS companies today is a human being looks at it and does a number of clicks through a workflow to get a certain result. And the human being is processing all of that and figuring out exactly what needs to be done, what button needs to be hit, what data needs to be entered so that you get some sort of a result that gets computed for you inside of the web application. Now, traditional SaaS companies are going to try to incorporate AI into this, just like back in the day, client server companies and desktop companies tried to move to the web. But here's the thing, they have technical debt. They have debt in terms of how they think about the problem. So they're only gonna add one more feature on top of the traditional workflow that exists. If you wanna disrupt traditional SaaS companies, the play is to think about how many clicks does it take to get a result in a traditional SaaS model, and how do you reduce the number of clicks to 0 using AI? If it took 10 clicks to respond to an email, can you reimagine email so that it takes 0 clicks to process your email and only look at the emails that matter, and the rest of them are either archived or already responded to by an agent? This is going to be the disruption that happens to the existing traditional SaaS companies. And by the way, SaaS is huge. There's so many traditional companies in the enterprise, in the mid-market, in the SMB, and even for solo users. And all of these are up for disruption because a company starting from scratch and reimagining the problem on how they can solve that problem in 0 clicks using AI versus having the tech debt of a traditional SaaS, well, you're just gonna win. You have that advantage. And that's how for every single wave, there were new companies that won because they were starting from scratch. Now, if you love this idea and you really want to double click on it, you should check out this video. This is an extensive video that I did that really explains how to disrupt the traditional players with AI first SaaS companies based on the key categories that SaaS exists in today. Now, by the way, this was the first idea, so you don't know if this is your most favorite one. So you don't have to go to that video right now. I'll link to it below. Let's go to idea number 2. Idea number 2 is AI agents as a service that are disrupting repetitive jobs. So in the prior scenario, you have entire systems that are SaaS, traditional SaaS systems like CRM, ERP, HRM, all of those, and they will get disrupted using AI. Well, in this scenario, what you're really doing is not disrupting those existing traditional SaaS platforms. What you're disrupting are actual repetitive jobs that people have where they're staring at a computer and looking at data here and typing it in over here. You would be amazed how many jobs like this exist. In fact, just the business process optimization industry alone is a $14 billion industry. And that entire industry is about taking business processes that exist inside of companies, extracting it out, and having large armies of humans to streamline it. Well, because of AI, you won't need humans anymore for this very tedious, high volume, repetitive labor. And there's going to be AI agents sold as a service that does it better, cheaper, faster, and with higher quality and reduced risk. All the things that companies actually want to pay money for. And in fact, because you're replacing armies of people, you may be able to charge way more than a traditional SaaS offering because you're replacing human labor. And as long as you're a smidge below that, or you're replacing 100 people with one agent, you'll be able to command a premium in the market. So this idea around AI agents as a service, disrupting entire jobs, this is where you're disrupting entire jobs instead of specific traditional SaaS platforms. This is going to be a big idea in 2025. If you love this idea and you really want to double click on it and you really want to figure out, well, what are the jobs? What are the processes? How do I automate it? What does that AI agent look like? You should check out this video. This is another extensive video that I did, really double clicking on this core idea and giving you specific examples and how to actually engineer your AI agent to solve these problems. You don't have to go now because, again, I have a third one for you. And then this one you might love even more than the last two. So I will link to this video below so you can double click on it at the end of this video. Now, before I go to number 3, let me pause here for a second. Are you starting to see the power in this? Are you getting as excited about SaaS and AI for 2025 as I am? Hopefully you're starting to see the opportunity. And I don't know how else to say this. This truly is a once in a generation opportunity because this doesn't happen all the time. In fact, the last time this happened was 2005, and quite honestly, some of you that are watching this video probably weren't even born at that time. So this truly is a once in a generation opportunity, which is why I'm so incredibly excited. Because 1, these opportunities create incredible wealth. And 2, on top of that, they create incredible impact. And the big reason I love software is to build products that thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people use and you can actually impact their lives. And in exchange for that, you'll also get handsomely rewarded by society, and you build wealth for yourself. Win-win. And this is where it all starts to come together. So if you're getting excited by this, can I just get a yes in the comments below? And also smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It just loves it when you do that. Now, one of the key things in building these software companies, whether it's AI first or SaaS AI or an AI agent or this third idea I'm going to tell you about, you need distribution. You need to understand how to actually sell it in the market. And before you build anything, you should always pre-sell it to validate these ideas, the specific idea you're going after. So if you're in that stage, you should definitely grab a copy of my 5-point SaaS growth strategy guide. It's completely free, and it has specific resources and in-depth videos on how to actually get distribution, how to build a go-to-market strategy, how to validate your product. You don't have to go anywhere right now. I'll also link to that below, and that guide will have the links to all those in-depth videos as well, along with everything else I talk about. So make sure you grab a copy of that. And also smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It just loves you when you do that, and also so do we. We put a lot of love into these videos. All right, now, idea number 3. Are you ready? You might have loved the last 2, but this third one is going to be even more powerful. The third idea are SaaS AI copilots that automate parts of a job. Now, these are very interesting. You're not replacing an entire low-level job that's dealing with high volume of data, tedious, repetitive work. You're also not replacing an entire well-entrenched platform. It's none of those things. What you're saying is, look, there's a job that exists, and a part of that job I can completely automate. And this can be for mid-level people, it could be for managers, and it could even be for the CEO of a company. When you think about a job that needs to be done by a CEO, you can think about all the things that that person needs to do, and you can start to think about what are some of those parts of that job that can be completely automated using AI. At this point, you essentially create a co-pilot for this specific role. Now, there's an interesting twist to this idea. What you can also do is say, look, I'm going to create a services company, and this services company is going to do lead generation, or it's going to do SEO, or it's going to do content creation, or it's going to develop software, and I'm going to charge people for it. But on the back end of these services companies, instead of hiring more and more contractors, you can use these co-pilots to automate parts of that job so that instead of dealing with just 1 client or 10 clients that you can handle, you can deal with 100 clients. So these co-pilots are going to be very powerful, whether it's for a CEO of a company or an individual contributor. Either way, entire parts of the job can be automated, and therein lies your opportunity. If you love this idea, I created this video. And inside of this video, I go in depth on the specific ways to think about what are the jobs that someone has and what can you automate and how do you actually validate and test that idea. Again, you don't have to go anywhere right now. We're gonna do a recap. I will link to that video down below as well, so you can click on it. But first, let's do the recap of the 3 ideas so you can figure out which one you love the best. This truly is an incredible time, and the 3 big ideas for 2025 and likely the rest of this decade for SaaS and for AI. Number 1 is an AI SaaS that's disrupting every traditional SaaS company. Remember, in shifts like this, new entrants have an advantage. They don't have any debt. So you can rethink how to solve this. You don't have any loyalty to prior ideas, which is why you're almost always going to create a better product and win in the market. Idea number 2 is to build an AI agent as a service where you're disrupting entire jobs, specifically repetitive jobs. And idea number 3 is SaaS AI copilots that automates entire parts of a job. For example, the CEO has a specific part of their job that you can entirely automate, and that becomes the Iron Man suit for the CEO. And the twist on that idea is you can actually create those copilots for services companies, and that way for the services companies, they're selling the same human outcome, but it's being done by AI on the back end and being monitored by the human, and therefore you can take on 100 clients where typically you'd be able to only take on 5 clients. So in a way, services companies become as scalable as software companies, which is super powerful. Now, for each of these ideas, there's an in-depth video that you can watch on my channel. It's completely free to really understand how to apply these ideas and develop it and shape it into your own. Those videos are linked below. Regardless of which idea that you pursue, you ultimately have to get distribution. You have to figure out how to message it, how to market it, how to sell it. This is why I created my 5-point SaaS growth strategy guide. It's completely free, and it's an in-depth resource on how to build a scalable go-to-market strategy for your SaaS business. It's completely free, so to grab your copy, just go to getunstoppable.com/strategy. Getunstoppable.com/strategy, because ultimately, while there are incredible opportunities, part of the game is to figure out the right market. Part of the game is to build the right product, but the bigger part of the game is to rise above the competition. And believe me, there's gonna be lots of people competing in this arena, to rise above them and get the distribution, get the attention of your ideal customers, and be able to sell this to them. So make sure you grab a copy of that guide, and the links below will include the link to the guide and also the 3 in-depth videos for each of these 3 ideas. If you got value from this episode, please smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It just loves it when you do that. Please do that before you go into any of the in-depth videos or the guides. It just means the world to us. Also, I drop an episode like this every single Sunday on actionable strategies and tactics on how to grow your SaaS business. And also for pre-founders who are starting the SaaS game and driving initial growth. Personally, I work with founders with a little bit of revenue to upwards of 110 million in ARR. I've personally worked in companies that are at 450 million in ARR. I love this SaaS game. I love distribution, and I'm particularly excited about growing SaaS companies in this era of AI. Also, I drop an episode every single Sunday with actionable strategies and tactics on how to start, grow, scale, and exit SaaS companies. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell icon. That way you'll get notified every single time I drop an episode. And lastly, remember, everyone needs a strategy for their life and their business. When you are with us, yours is going to be unstoppable. I'm TK, and I'll see you in the next set of episodes, the in-depth episodes that are all linked below, and also the 5-point SaaS growth strategy guide. Grab your free copy in there as well. Thank you, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.